triangle dyan, black color, which is representation of cities of more than 100 to 300 people. Then there's a cities also, which is a circle, cities of over 300,000 people. Okay? So what does it mean? So alam natin, England is the eye of every country, so every person, every people of the world before. Lagi po yung bukang bibig dahil progressive ang England. Okay? Now, Great Britain or England composed of four countries, namely Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and London. Yan po yung mga yan. Okay? At alam din natin, they have their own resources, particularly yung ating square shape dyan na white color, which is referring to deposit of iron. Ibig sabihin, maraming metals. So, kung maraming metals, it means nasa kanila talaga ang reality or yung tinatawag natin inventions of machines. Okay? And aside from that, nandyan po yung tinatawag na deposits of coal, no? Na ginagamit po yan with regards to engine or yung steam na tinatawag. Now, sabi natin why in England? As I said kanina, superpower. At the same time, why there is, you call it yung mga cities nila well popular, because many people from the rural area, they tend to go to the cities. Alam natin in reality, if a city is po considered as one of the best, many people are wanted to go to that cities. For example, Makati. Bakit po marami pupunta sa Makati? Kasi sabi natin, marami kasing buildings, marami mga social, marami mga kung ano-ano. Kaya ay ng mga tao, pumunta sa mga social na place, mga places like Makati. Nanda city districts na center siya, di ba? So, yun yung mga idea. And normally, if it is that, kung kabi nga natin, kung ganun ang ay ng mga tao, tendency talaga pumunta. So, therefore, maraming tao, maraming opportunity, ibig sabihin, na nakikita sa isang cities. And this is one of the reason why yung 100 to 300,000 people nag-i-increase. And particularly yung mga great cities na minention natin dyan, ay bakit nag-o-over 300,000? Kasi nga, nandun yung opportunity. So mean to say, the reason why people are moving from one places is because of the opportunity. Kagaya ninyo, soon to be, after a year, kayo po ay magiging medtech, no? Magiging professional medtech kayo. At alam ko rin na kayo ay hindi magtatagal sa Pilipinas. Kayo ay aalis ng bansang Pilipinas kasi you're looking for the opportunity to abroad. So parang ganyan. So paano kayo na-attract? Na-attract kayo sa kapag ang cities na mine-mention po ay maganda, andun po yung life, kumbaga, nandun yung parang doon kayo napapabilang, diba? Ang tendency natin is to go with that in that area. So ganito ang setup. So why people they don't live? Sorry. Sino po yung bagong dating? Ayaw sumagot, bala ka, wala kang ano. Okay? So why some people, they're only living in island? Kukunti lang po nakatira sa island. But yet right now, when you go to Ireland, kasi popular yan, no? Lalo na especially for the medical field, no? Talagang ina-accept nila yan. But then, konti ang tao dyan. Because Ireland is composed of what? Sabi natin, malamig yan. Kukunti lang ka ng resources. So normally, people ang kailangan. So they're moving from one places to another. Okay? Now, so since we're talking about Industrial Revolution, everything was changed, sabi nga natin. So there is no permanent thing, diba? Everything is changing. So through the idea, they don't tend to focus themselves from a one purpose, but rather they tend to accept or to apply more than perspective na tinatawag. So that's why most of historians agree that the Industrial Revolution was a turning point in the history of the world. Okay? It changed the Western world from the rural and agrarian society to an urban to industrial society. Parang sa Pilipinas lang yan. No, yung ating mga provinces before is an agricultural, but then on, what they did is they turned it to industrial. So parang Kalamba, di ba? Dati agricultural yan, but later on, it become a progressive city, sabi nga natin. And they are part of what we call prior state. So parang ganito, the rural area basically, these are agrarian areas. So they plant, di ba? And normally, the way of they planting is single cropping. Ibig sabihin, kung nagtanim ako ng palay, yun lang din tatanim ko, tapos wala na akong alternative one. But again, sabi nga natin, English people, hindi sila nagfo-focus on one system, but they tend to look for more. Ibig sabihin, more development yan. Kailangan nagbabago. Kailangan may pagbabago. Kailangan may new perspective na tinatawag. So, nandiyan yung inventions. Using the resources. So, yung rural, naging best agrarian sila because they tend to apply multiple types of cropping. So, nandiyan yung acceptance ng mga different types of crops. Yung urban, it turns out to industrial. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga dating hindi masyadong okay, naging industrial siya. Kaya marami mga buildings or factories na tinatawag natin. Just like yung picture natin dito. So, an English inventor, hindi siya nag-stop sa kanyang mga information lang, but rather they tend to look for more. Kaya tingnan nyo, oh, ang dami nilang inventions. Tingnan nyo, bakit sa background niya merong mga factories made from steel, sa background niya may mga spinning wheels, sa background niya may mga kung ano-ano. So ito yung mga new ideas. And the purpose of these new ideas, of course, to produce more product. Kasi nga, it's in business eh. Pag sinabing business, alam naman natin objective nila to produce more in order to get profit. So starting around 1700s, particularly 1750, Great Britain was the face of the Europe for the next century. So they're very thankful for all the lucrative agrarian industry nila. Kasi yung agrarian sila, naging basis nila yan for more idea, di ba, perspective. So yung mga wealthy landowners, particularly yung mga Derby, no? Derby po ang pinakamayaman during that time sa England. Sila ang halos may-ari, no, ng mga produktong meron po dyan. Sila yung nagpo-produce. Okay? And of course, yung mga astonishing number of yung mga creative inventions. So yan po yung sample natin, yung mga steam engines, yung mga hot gases na kinukuha, and even the creation of bridge. Diba? Nagkaroon ng connection ng one places to another. Dati nahihirapan. Through the use of bridge and the use of metal, nagkaroon ng bridge po na tinatawag. And that is what we call Cartesian Bridge. Very popular yan sa England. So isa yan. Nandyan din po yung mga trailers ng trend. Kaya nga nag-create yung trend, sabi natin. Cottage is very popular, as mentioned natin before. And very profitable to. Although on the part of the south, ito po ay hindi maganda. Kasi syempre, ano sila, no? But anyway, so before the Industrial Revolution, textile po were produced under the so-called putting out system. So ito yung cycle ng cottage industry. From the old system, from the first step, yung sheep farms, tapos dadalhin siya sa farm 1, farm 2, farm 3. And then later on, dadalhin sa market to sell the product. And then that's it, di ba? Pero sabi nga natin, this kind of cottage industry is not only popular in the bigger perspective, sabihin sa mga lalaking company, no, or industry, but rather very common yan with the ordinary people sa mga household o yung tinatawag nating artisan or farming families. Kasi yun talaga usual eh, di ba? More on cattle sila, tapos yung balahibong kinukuha, tapos they make it into a cloth. Diba? Ganun na mga setup na yan. So, ito yung sample ng picture. Very individual, no? Family, household, ayan po ginagawa nila. So, yung cotton was spun and woven into cloth by hand, no, in England. So, ayan po yan. When they started to build this wheel, ayan po, nag-create na. And then later on, nagkaroon ng bigger idea to create a machine. Okay? So dati nanggaganchilyo-ganchilyo lang, 'di ba? Tapos tahi-tahi. Kaya uso sa kanila yung embroider using hand sa kanila, 'di ba? Sa mga classic ano. So, with a new idea, so kailangan mag-create tayo ng new one. So nagkaroon ng mga spinning jenny. This is considered as a first on scene, yung spinning machines. Then later on, nagkaroon ng mechanical looms, which is very popular din sa Philippines, yung mga mechanical looms na tinatawag made from wood. No? Common sa northern part natin, sa Luzon, and even in southern Mindanao. Marami po yan. And then they started also to build made from metals. No? So nagkaroon ng mga ideas niyan. Now, aside from the spinning wheels, nandiyan din po yung mga tinatawag nating wheels referring to water power, no, yung mga water energy na tinatawag natin. So, the first textile mill po needing the water power to drive their machine were built, no, on the fast-moving steams in a rural England. So, sa mga classic movies, na isa na pa nakita natin, mga bahay nila meron parang wheel na akala natin it's a part of the art, di ba? Yan yung mga akala, ako nung bata ako, akala ko ganun eh. Part ng life ng kanila yun kasi umiikot. Tapos may mga cartoons pa ako pinapanood, the black and white pa yung Disney Channel, sina Mickey Mouse at Donald Duck. Yung naglalakad sila, pati yung bahay naglalakad din, may gulong. So ang thinking ko, yung bahay nila naglalakad. So yung kasi nung bata tayo, di ba? But later on, when I found out na sa pag-aaral, nakita natin ito pala ay a sort of energy nila. So doon pala nakikita natin, meron na silang mga ways on how to produce energy using this kind of invention. So pag nakakita tayo ng mga wheels sa mga bahay-bahay, it means meron silang mga pinapatakbong mga machines. And one of the example natin, ito, yung mga textile machines na tinatawag using the water energy. So ibig sabihin may tubig sa ilalim. 'Di ba? Tapos yung iba naman ginagamit po yung wind. 'Di ba? Kaya may mga parang chicken na gumaganon yung arrow na tinatawag. Okay? So the English mill town, as you can see, from environmental, no, from agricultural perspective, it turns out into industrial. Kasi sabi nga natin, in industrial, you need machines or you need technology. You need metals. Without metal, walang industrial revolution. Sabi nga natin, hindi siya magkakaroon ng new idea. So the period of art showing the transformation of the countryside during the Industrial Revolution in Great Britain. So dating mag-greeny yan, pero ngayon hindi na. Kasi nga, this is the impact of the Industrial Revolution. They need more new perspective, sabi nga. Kaya tingnan nyo, may mga bahay, may mga companies or mga industries, etc. Now, sa perspective ng pro-globalization and industrial revolution, maganda to. Kasi you're giving opportunity the people, no, to gain or to earn money. Kasi nga, yun yung way talaga to survive everything. Pero sa perspective ng anti o yung mga hindi pro, no, so Industrial Revolution, it creates something negative. Bakit? Nakita nyo, nag-start na yung problem na meron tayo sa present time. 'Di ba? Pollution. Nababawasan yung environment pillars, one of the pillars of the three pillars, which is the environment. Tatlo yung pillars, right? Social, economic, and environment. Affected po yung environment. Pero yung social and economic, buhay na buhay because that's the essence of business, sabi nga natin. 'Di ba? Kasi if there is an environment, meron silang ipoproduce. Cotton mill, as we understand, in the mid of 19th century, the cotton manufacturer po was an entirely factory-based operation, notably in the Lancashire town in Manchester and the Oldham as shown in this photograph. So makikita natin, women are working in the factories. No? So ito po yung mga factories na makikita ninyo, develop na yung mga factories, and they're using metals, ng mga steam, mga usok-usok. So nakikreate na ng negative impact. Okay? So ayan po siya. And then, they also tend to attack, no, mga child as part of child labor, no, in the Industrial Revolution. Kasi as we understand, kapag po ang tatay sa probinsya, halimbawa naganap ng trabaho, naganap sa Manila, sa cities, pag nakakuha siya ng trabaho, ang tendency bumalik at kukunin niya yung family niya. So kapag napunta ka sa city, syempre you need to live. Sabi nga natin, kailangan mag-survive dahil hindi lang pwede si tatay lang magtatrabaho. So normally the mother, yung wife niya, maghanap din siya ng way to work para tulungan yung husband niya, di ba? So ang tanong, paano mangyayari sa iyo kung maiiwanan? Paano ang bata? Di ba? Since that time, nasa progress tayo development ng Industrial Revolution. So I mean say, kailangan ng maraming tao. So what the company, the businessmen did is they tapped the young child o yung mga bata. So tinanggap nila. Kaya dyan pumapasok yung child labor abuse na tinatawag natin. So families are quickly migrated from the rural farm areas to newly industrial cities to find work. So included na po ang mga bata. And what is now the working conditions of a child? Once they got there, things they did not look as bright as they did. To survive in an event or even the lower level of poverty, families po had to have every able member of the family to go to work. This led to the high rise in child labor in factories. Children were not treated well. 'Di ba? Overwork po sila kasi bata Gising na gising ang body niya. Ibig sabihin, very strong ang body. Pagtrabahuin mo 24/7, bigyan mo lang ng sweet something yan. Gising na gising yan, hyper na mga yan, 'di ba? Ayan, they are underpaid for a long period of time before anyone tried. In short, during that time, ang daming problem. And since may problem from the past, they tend to change na ngayon. And what is now yung changes to the present? From the old system, yung mga negative outcome before, change ngayon yan, which is part ng SDG, yung 17 goals, to remove all this kind of problem para ma-achieve natin yung goals na tinatawag natin. So nagkaroon ng mga changes. That's why ang European ngayon considered as champion for human rights. Kuno lang. Sorry may kuno ako. Pero may negative kasi ako laging But then, ito nga yung nangyayari. Okay? So, sabi ko nga kanina, what the way people work change as they did, way they live. So, tignan nyo po yung mga young boys. Kapag bata ka, nabatak na yung body mo, saan ka nagtatrabaho? Ayan, sa ilalim ng tunnel. You're pushing a barrel po. No? Mabibigat po yan. Gawain ng trabaho ng lalaki yan. They are in the minings, yung mga relays ng tren. Yan ang ginagawa ng mga lalaki Yan ang trabaho nila. While women were actually in a textile company. Ayan po. One is to one. One machine, one person. But they are required to produce a fabric, no? Ng mga kung ano-ano mga yan. So, ito yung picture before. But in the upper part of the picture, makikita ninyo the contemporary, no, idea of a factory now. When you say industrial, basically it's more on machines. A huge machines nakita natin. And there are only few people are working of it. So tawag natin ngayon, push button. No? Ibig sabihin, pag red, stop. Pag green, go. Ganun lang setup natin eh. Okay? So the Industrial Revolution, as we understand, Great Britain changed more during that era. That's why kita natin, many people tend to go to England. Kasi nga, as mentioned, half of the world were actually conquered by United Kingdom. So, ang perspective tala ng tao pumunta dyan. And there are other countries also considered as world manufacturing output yan. No? So, people move from the countryside to the new town. That's why yung mga nasa province ng countryside, pumupunta sila sa cities. Kaya mas maraming tao. And there only few people are living in their countryside. Superpower, as I mentioned kanina, Great Britain became the world's biggest superpower with a huge increase in the industrial production and even the imperial expansion. Again, as I said, almost half of the world conquered by United Kingdom. So, sabi nga natin, their idea is to create. So, they use their resources through the creation of iron bridge. Yan po yan. Yung mga using metal. Considered po siya as the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution kasi gumawa na sila ng metal eh. 'Di ba? Naggawa na sila, nagbuild na sila ng mga daan in connection of course for transportation, delivery of services eh. Okay? So yung mga ingredients nila, yung resources ginamit nila and that's why meron silang clay, mapakadami po nilang deposit ng clay. Siyempre yung coal kanina, ironstone and even the limestone which is very exposed po yan no in the surface of Great Britain. Kaya tingnan niyo yung Castirion. Yan po ay very popular, one of the oldest bridge na tinayo po which is nag-exist po yan. Considered po, nag-exist po yan hanggang ngayon. And yan po ang tumatayo, no? Buhay na katotohanan ng successful ng being superpower country no, in the world before. This is also the map illustrates no, in 1761 the situation no, in a very fine detail about a group of buildings settled in the right bank of a Sauna torrent. So mapapansin natin, nasa tabi siya ng ilog. Diba? Ano kaya ang source meron laki? Bakit lagi sa may tabi ng dagat, sa tabi ng ilog? Diba? Alam natin, water is life. Okay? Ibig sabihin ng water is life, nandyan po lahat. Kasi if you cannot deliver the product through land, you can use it by water. And yung water po, it serves a best thing no? For the production of the product, kung ano man po yung production nila. Although, in some point right now, nagkakos sila ng negative impact. Okay, but then, this is a very important, makita ninyo, no? Yung mga lupa, gamit na gamit, nasisira kung ano man yan. So with the picture, ito po yung setup ngayon. Kung titignan natin, it can be a positive or negative impact. Bakit? Positive, in a pro-globalization or pro-industrialization, positive siya kasi you create jobs. Diba? But in somehow, in a negative part, you create no, you create something. No? Ibig sabihin, nagpa-violate ka. Nagkikreate ka na ng pollution, 'di ba? Sickness, sakit 'yan sa health, 'di ba? Yan po yung nakikreate niya. So again, as they develop and use their product, no, their resources, they tend to work, no? They build cannons made from metal. Sabi rito, if textile po fueled the Industrial Revolution, iron was the scaffolding on which it was constructed. So yung iron, without iron po, there could have been no meaningful industrialization. This one, no, metal po yan, tawag dyan ay nail, shear nail. Okay? Yan po ay parang pako. Pero hindi mo talaga pako siya. Pero parang pako siya kasi yan yung nagdidikit sa isang metal, one metal to another one. So sa mga tulay, sa mga bridges, no, ginamit po yan para magduktong yung mga relays ng tren na yan. Kaya nagkaroon sila ng tren. Okay? Sa mga barko, ginagamit po yan. So, ito yung importance ng metal. Why England become the superpower. They started to build spinning wheels, ayan po, mga mules, spinning mules, and a steam engine. So ito po yung unang klase ng bangka to, ng tren, steam, ganyan po itsura. may isang maliit lang na nakalikod, no, na nasa likod na kaya niya magdala ng isang barrel of wine. Na dati ang dinadala niya box-box kasi nasa isang maliit na sasakyan lang. But because of this creation, ito kayang tumakbo niya sa malayo and even in fact nakakapag-carry siya na mas heavier, no, na mas mabibigat na item, sabi nga natin. Ayan. Until they created more, no, develop pa nila hanggang sa naging trend na siya, bandami ng kayang ilulan, sabi natin. So this is an example of a steam. It is a what you call it, the James Watt steam engine. It is considered as a double acting stationary engine. It is a huge iron works that would never have come into existence without this steam engine po yan. So this is the best invention created by the British, no, artist na or British inventor na yan. And they also, American, adapted this kind of style, although in a different perspective. Pero ganito yung setup. They also created their own steam engine. Kaya nagkaroon din ng mga trends po yan. So, another thing, of course, siyempre, if there is industrial revolution, may impact din siya, no? Meron din siyang additional na increase, which is the population growth. So, sabi nito, population begins to grow, especially England, kasi nga, they are very popular country that time. And meron tayong question dito, what are some possible explanation for this growth? Diba? And is the population po more urban or rural? Kayo po makakasagot niyan. Saan po ba mas madami? Diba? But there is also, yung sabi natin mga result for the reason why there is a population growth. Number 1, agricultural revolution. Number 2, expansion of trade. And number 3, the openness to innovation. Let's start with agricultural revolution. We understand from then on, single crops farming. But since sabi ko nga kanina, they do not focus, no? Di lang sila nakafocus for that, but rather they're thinking more. Diba? Nag-iisip pa sila. So they adapted the multi-agricultural system. So when they started to accept potato, na dati ang potato po ay hindi masyadong pinapansin. When they started to plant, they found out they give a best, kumbaga. Ang dami niya napoproduce. Sabi nga rito, 2 to 3 times more time, sabi dyan, no? Food can make, no? To make food, no? Per acre po yan. So kasi pagka nagtanim ka dyan, yung span of time niya, ilang months na lang, may tubo na yan. At pag tinanggal mo yan, ang dami ng crops niyan, di ba? So yung dahon, pwedeng pagamit natin or pakain natin sa mga animals. That's why, when they started to plant potato, inaccept nila din yung other perspective, which is nag-start sila magtanim ng turnips, legumes, yung clover, even barley, wheat. Nag-start na yung mga yan. Kasi nga gusto nila mag-end up yung famine. Yung problem nila or scarcity for food. Kasi pag sa industrial or agricultural revolution, kailangan i-accept mo yung reality. Bababago lahat. So, ayan nangyari. So, since itong mga leafy fruits na to, or yung tinatawag nating mga turnips na yan o legumes na yan, it's a very easy to plant. Yung dahon na yan, pwede i-feed sa animal. And remember, animal can produce milk. And remember, ang European countries po, they love cheese. Diba? So, ayan yung system. So, marami silang mga alternative food. So that yung kanilang food problem nakukuha yung demand ng tao. So, in the revolution, agricultural revolution, that leads to the so-called more dependable food supplies. Nagkaroon po ng end-cyclical famine. So, dati namumblema sila. Nagkaroon ng better nutrition leads to longer lifespan. Kasi nga, nagkaroon ng alternative food aside from dating food lang na yung tinatake nila. And more positive outlook in life. Ibig sabihin, more additional knowledge o thinking, 'di ba? Kasi maraming input, maraming opportunity na pwede ma-create. For population. So, reality sa atin sa Philippine setup, kapag ang tatay po, normally ganito po, no, sa mga boys nung araw, kahit makatapos ka o hindi ka nakapag-aral basta't ikaw nagtatrabaho, lagi sasabihin ng magulang ang nanay at tatay, anak, mag-asawa ka na. Kasi pwede ka na makabuhay ng pamilya. Di ba? Ganun yung sinasabi lagi. So dahil yung lalaki, sabi, oh nga, may trabaho na ako, kaya ko nang bumuhay. Nag-aasawa siya. So kahit ng age niya mabata, nag-aasawa siya din ng bata. Sa babae, alam natin yan, aminin natin, utak natin, ano na tayo, no? Matatanda na yung ating pag-iisip. Sa babae kasi, paano mo masasabi na ikaw ay pwede na mag-asawa? Alam natin sa atin mga girls, kapag ang babae po ay nagkaroon ng menstruation, the first time na nagka-menstruation po ang bata, 'Diba? It means sa mga matatanda nung araw, considered na po siya na ready na ang body to become whatever. So pwede na siya mag-asawa. So ganun yung ang setup sa atin. Kaya minsan, kapag ang bata nagkaroon ng menstruation as early as 12 years old, 13 years old, 'di ba? Pwede na ikasal. Nagkakaroon na sila ng partner, no? Nagkakaroon na ng arrangement ang dalawang family. So, makikita natin may mga kwento na at the age of 13, may anak na siya. Kaya minsan nakikita natin yung age nila ng nanay at ng anak halos magkadikit. Ako kagaya ng cousins ko. Mga seniors na po yung mga cousins ko eh. So, nung nabubuhay yung tita ko, ang age niya hindi nalalayo sa panganay. Ang difference lang po ng age ay 3 years old lang. So, ibig sabihin, siguro at the age of 50, nag-asawa na tita ko. Tapos nagkaroon na siya nakaanak kaagad. Imagine nyo, tayo ngayon, ang perspective natin, kapag ang babae ay nag-asawa ng maaga, sasabihin natin, bata pa to bakit nag-asawa na? Di ba? Ganun yung mga setup natin. But ito yung reality. Ganun din sa England. Ganun din sa ibang bansa. So if the man is very dependable sila, if there is a supply, there is a good supply or food supply, you have a better job opportunity, kumbaga, so it's a younger average to age for marriage na. So kaya nagkakaroon ng early marriage tayo that will increase to or increases to the so-called birth rate couple. Kaya dumadami. Tapos ano setup ng araw? 'Di ba? The more children, the better. Dahil yan ang sasagip, sabi nga pag maraming anak, 'di ba? Yan yung araw. Pero ngayon, hindi ka pwedeng magparami ng anak dahil mamumulubi ka, 'di ba? So ayun yun natin. But this is the reality. So in the early 19th century, 40% of England under age of 15 nag-aasawa na. 'Di ba? Eh what more pa kaya sa atin? That's why very popular ang migration theory, no? Moving from countryside to cities. Kasi nga the opportunities in the cities eh. So lilipat tayo doon mga anak. O lilipat kayo doon. Kaya ang tendency pag lumipat sa cities, pag wala ka nakuha job, so ikaw ngayon yung problema ng lipunan. 'Di ba? Kapag wala ka nakuha. But before then, madaling makakuha ng trabaho. Pero ngayon, bitbitin mo lahat ng pamilya mo, hindi mo alam kung sino successful, di ba? Okay, so yan po yan. What about for changes in trade? So since there is a bettering transportation, dahil they created bridges, nagkaroon ng mga ways, transportation through land, air, and water, it's easy to deliver the product. Nagkaroon po ng mga trend, steam engines, di ba? Cottage industry is a very popular, profitable. But then on, when they introduced the sugarcane, or they call it the sweet tooth for Europe, very much profitable po ang sugarcane. Kaya siya ay naging profitable item not only from the local but also for international trade. Why? Because yung sugarcane, ipinoproduce niya madami eh. In fact, ini-include yan sa mga lahat ng bagay, even for food, medicines, tama? So sinasama yan eh, kasi may mga pambata pag maramatamis, di ba? Ayan, that's why they call it the sugar or the sweet tooth. Kasi sinasama sila sa mga chocolates, sa mga soft drinks, sa mga water, even sa yung mga pang-usual na tinitake ng tao which is part of the basic one. So ayan po yan. Okay? So with the development or the developing of infrastructure, sabi nga natin, they tend to build this one because as we understand, the reason for creating this is to provide cheaper and efficient transport para ma-lower yung carriage costing o yung cost na tinatawag, yung expenses. Alam din natin sa business, walang businessman na papayag na hindi sila kikita. Kadalasan at madalas, ang mga businessmen po, ang laging iniisip nila kung saan makakatipid. That's why they build this one. And British people, business-minded po sila eh. They wanted to have, profit. Kailangan kumikita. For the sake of, syempre, for the sake of their Kaya build nila yan. Diba? To deliver the good, etc. Although may mga negative impact, but then may positive on the part for the development. So what is now the outcome? Number one, there is a greater income disparity. Okay? England become the major power in Europe through its successful trade. Kaya nga they are superpower. Not only for economic, but also the imperialism system na tinatawag. They also introduced capitalism. Before, we understand the economic system that they introduced is capitalism, socialism, kay Karl Marx, and may tinatawag tayong pure capitalism. But because of, sabi natin, new idea, they introduce ngayon yung mga different perspective, new concept, sabi nga natin, which is yung wala na po tayong pure capitalism ngayon. We are now using the mixed capitalism. Kasi this is the reality. Before, yung capitalism old one, o tinatawag nating pure capitalism, they beat the mercantilism system. Ano po ba yung mercantilism? Puro mga merkado, nasa merkado lang. These are few people, no, who manage and control business. Kaya yung komersyo de indulto de komersyo, o kung estudyante po kayo sa Rizal, di ba, na-mention ko yung indulto de komersyo. Sino po yung mga nasa commerce na yan? Church, yung mga people na may yaman, yun lang yun eh. Sila lang nagmamanipulate that time. So they need to beat them. So they welcome other capitalism ideas, yung mga businessmen na yan. Kaya eto. That's why nagkaroon na development sa England. So more knowledge, more output, more development. Kaya more inventions. That's why in a modern textile mill, many machines were busily in an initial stage of processing fiber into fabric. Tignan nyo po siya. Dati, 1:1. One machine, one person. Ngayon, tignan nyo po siya. Ilan po yan? Push button. Di ba? So, napoproduce yan in how many pieces? Probably per hour, per minute. Di ba? Ganyan kabilis. But kung tao magtatrabaho, hindi kaya mag-produce ng madami. And that's the intention ng tinatawag na Industrial Revolution, to produce more so that all the demands, no, supply and demands can be delivered and achieved ng mga people, ng mga client na tawag. So in connection with this, more production, so nandyan papasok yung cultural imperialism and the post-colonialism. Imperialism means the policy of extending a nation's authority by territorial acquisition or by the establishment of economic and political hegemony over other nations. While colonialism naman is a policy and practices of a power in extending control over weaker people or areas. So, dahil marami kang pinoproduce, so a lot of people is actually acquiring that product, not only from one places but also to other places. Kaya, si Coca-Cola nakarating ng Egypt, which is Coca-Cola is American product. Even sabi nga natin sa McDonaldization, yung localization, nagkaroon ng McDonald's, which is Japan po ito, hindi ako nagkakamali, or Russia. Okay? Even Zuma is a great businessman po yan, American businessman. Diba? Very popular siya kasi almost all the companies po sa buong mundo, siya ang may-ari. Okay? Hindi si Suma po yan, hindi yung Suma na may asa leeg kasi baka sabihin yung Suma po ba pelikula, hindi yan. Kaya meron nakalagay dito logo, try and stop us. So pag tinry mo yan, hindi mo sila may stop. Pero kapag tinry mo at hindi maganda, pwede mo silang stop. Pero the question is, can you stop the US for conquering the world? Hindi. Kasi nga, they already conquered the world. Cultural imperialism po is a domination of one culture over another. Cultural imperialism can take the form of a general attitude or an active, formal, and deliberate policy, including, syempre, military actions. Ito po yung nangyayari ngayon. Diba? Majority of the countries all over the world, nakita natin how America is actually using their power. No? Even economic or technological factors may also play a role. Tingnan nyo po yung mga companies, yung mga machines na ginagamit natin, yung mga gadgets na meron tayo, di ba? It's made from Western yan. We might also say that the cultural product po of the first world invade the third world, which is correct. Just like what happened to the Philippines, we were colonized by Spain. So, in-invade tayo, they introduced their own culture, kaya tingnan nyo, na-adapt natin yung culture na yan. Even America, they were colonized us for 42 to 52 years, no? Makita ninyo yung influence nila sa atin. And right now, we embrace a lot, no, with the American product. Japan is also there. Kaya nga, they conquered. And, kinonquer po niya yung local culture. And right now, tanungin nyo sarili nyo, meron pa bang natitirang local culture tayo? Kasi mamaya sabihin nyo sa akin, baka mamaya hindi naman pala local na yan. Hindi na atin yan. Kasi nga, na-adapt na. Kaya nga yung localization. So increasing the major media player are multinational companies with the interest across the world. Even po ang mga media is very, kumbaga, affected or nagkaroon ng changes. They conquered, no? Nandiyan yung papasok yung cultural imperialism. Bakit? Tingnan nyo po yung mga news, mga media. Paano tayo na-convince or kinu-convince sa isang produkto nila? Paano ba sabihin? Pwede ko ba sabihin na nauuto tayo o inuuto tayo? 'Di ba? Although nauto naman talaga tayo kasi yun naman nangyayari, no? Paano tayo na-attract? 'Di ba? So the way they presented sa media, nakita mo very attractive. Yung mga advertisement, yung mga kung ano nakikita natin. Even to, Universal Studio, yung News Corporation, yung CBS. Alam ko yung iba may nanonood sa inyo. Ako, nanonood ako ng mga ganyan kaysa sa local. Nabubisit ako sa local natin eh. Aminin natin yan. Kasi iba yung setup nila eh, di ba? But then, isa napapaniwala tayo, di ba? Pero nasa sa atin pa naman. Anyway, so this has important implication for the way of Western television and even the film companies can also have an impact on the culture of developing countries. Correct. Dati, pelikula, naalala ko pag nanonood ka ng Pilipinong pelikula, ang mga pelikula no may sayawan, may kantahan, may comedy, 'di ba? It's a family oriented. Ngayon, hindi mo na makita ang family oriented movie or kaya kahit hindi movie yung mga comedy something. Bihira ka na makakita eh. Kaya tingnan mo mga tao ngayon, stress. Kasi nakikita natin sa palabas barilan, 'di ba? Ah, awayan, no? Ano yung pangangapid, no? Yung pagkukuha ang tawag din yung mga love affair na 'yan, 'di ba? Hindi siya very hindi siya very common kumbaga sa ating kultura, pero inadapt natin because this is the impact of media. And this is how they project, no? Yung western na 'yan to us. Eh very common 'yan sa western eh. Sa atin iba. Kaya minsan pag nakakita pa ako ng mga pelikula na o family oriented, nakakatawa kasi kahit pa paano tumatawa ka eh. Ngumiti ka. Ngayon hindi ka na makatawa o hindi kasi nakikita mo nabubwisit ka para gusto mo na ikaw na yung bumaril doon sa kalaban, gusto mo sa bunutan yung dapat sa bunutan, di ba? Di ba minsan, yung katotohanan, minsan imbis na ma-relax ka, lalo ka nai-stress kasi lalo na pag nakikita mo. Lalo na yung Batang Quiapo, di ba? Stressful yun eh. 'Di ba? Ano pa? Yung sa Channel 7 din. May mga fantasy pero nai-stress ka kasi ang dami mga palpak na kumbaga para in reality, 'di ba? Anyway, yun po yung mga sinasabi lang natin. It's sort of yung influence sa atin, no? Naiiba yung perspective ng culture natin. Na-adapt natin, 'di ba? So like for example, no, an important function halimbawa of the media is the winning the support of the people to the interest of domination classes. Paano makukuha yung attraction ng tao, di ba? Strategy, tingnan nyo. Mga politicians, anong ginagawa? Picture tayo dito. Kunyari, nagbibigay ako ng something. Kagaya ni Obama. Di ba? May picture siya with the delegates from the Native American. Ito po yung mga Native Americans. Normally, in reality, hindi po magkasundo ang mga Black Americans, no? Black African Americans po. Obama po is a Black African Americans yan. Tapos picture ka sa isang native, which is alam natin, ang mga Native Americans ay iba ang kanilang perspective. Pero dahil yan, part of it. Ito yung function ng media, no? Yung winning the support. Kaya sa politika, pag nakita mo yung image na yan, lahat tayo, ay doon tayo kasi magaling yan. Kasi yun yung binihin sa atin, ina-emphasize, sinasabi sa atin, eto. Pero dapat hindi, di ba? Parang reality. And dyan, another one. A British photographer in India po, ayan A Day of the Raj. Ayan, may mga pictures sila. Even si Suma, hindi naman siya royalty, pero tingnan nyo, no? When they arrive I think in England po ito, kasi mga soldiers po ito, tingnan nyo, binigyan siya ng special treatment. Who would imagine for that? How powerful he is. Diba? Media also constitute a potential tool for controlling by dominant Western culture over those of developing countries. Okay? Yung Western way. So for example, yung McDonald's, tignan nyo. Although binago ang pangalan, but still McDonald's there, the logo. Even yung mga fruit, ito yung mga branded names sa baba, no? Starbucks, these are all what we call American food. Diba? Tingnan nyo mo si Superman. Diba? Superhero. Alam naman natin si superhero, hindi naman babaero ang mga superhero. Tama po ba? Kung meron silang girlfriend, isa lang. Pero dito, pakita nyo yun may kasamang babae sa kanyang pinoportray. 'Di ba? O imagine nyo lang yan. Yung cowboy, halimbawa. Supposed to be cowboy yan American cowboy yan. Tingnan nyo po itsura ng artist. Ako, daw maniniwala na cowboy yan. Tingnan nyo itsura, mukha siyang Chinese or Japanese. So Asian to. But then this is the reality. they need to project that Marlboro is for all because the impact of localization. The most dominant culture in the US, no, is the Hollywood. Okay? And a good example po to ng culture imperialism, which extend to that even the developed countries like yung France and UK go to the great length to ensure their own film industries remain strong. Paano? Merging. Diba? Yung mga artist nila, sasama sa mga actor na American actors. Nagme-merge sila. Minsan, makikita natin production by ganito, pero, diba, iba yung setup kung sino yung gumawa, from French pala or whatever. Cultural imperialism is, in fact, a very old phenomenon. For centuries to, countries impose their cultural values on the other nation. At the present, sabi niya, global economic and political power in the United States, for example, is inevitably intruding into the culture of other countries of the world. That's why they said, they believe, no, American spread of culture is actually beneficial to the entire planet, while others po considered this cultural imperialism is a threat. I don't know kung paano yung siya titignan kasi for me kasi it's a threat. Bakit? Nawawala na yung sarili nating identity. Okay, sa globalization kasi, industrialization, talaga kailangan i-accept yung reality. Pero siya na, hindi nawawala. O, tulad natin, di ba? So, sa iba maganda, kasi nga at least new perspective. But syempre, may nawawala sa ating part. For the post-colonialism, we understand that in a post-colonial, as the name suggests, no, in a theoretical perspective, that the looks no, at media and cultural studies in terms of the aftermath of colonialism. So most European countries po have a history of militarism, okay, and we understand that half of the world, as sinabi ko na kanina, that England, they ruled no, half of the world. So in the case, for example, the Philippines, we were colonized by Spain, so Europe to yan. Kita naman natin the power that they tend to or apply, no, yung kanilang in-apply sa atin is militarism. Even America, when they arrive in the Philippines and colonize us, the first government system that was established which is military. Kasi that's the only way how to control militarism para makontrol mo sila. And then later on, they changed to civilian. But then, na-create na yung identity of militarism talaga ang kanilang ini-impose kagad. So these countries also would conquer the less developed countries like the Philippines, for example. Dahil mahina tayo, mahina, kinolonize tayo. Kaya ilang bansa yung nag-colonize sa atin. Okay? They ruled the country for the reason not for to be part of it, but rather ang objective talaga nila is for the supply. Diba? Alam naman natin na ang naglalabanan nung araw, Portugal and Spain. Portugal nakahanap ng spices. So, nainggit si Spain. Kaya naganap din siya. Pero hindi niya ginaya yung looking for the spice. What they did is nag-apply siya ng kanyang rule, no? Kanyang objective, which is the 3 Gs. Referring to God, gold, and glory. So, inuna niya ang God. Propagation of Christianity. Para naiiba sa perspective ng Portugal. Pero reality, what is the real intention of that expedition? It's the supply. The spices. And then later on, extension of territory. Yung huli na which is supposed to be ay propagation of Christianity, ginawa nilang first para hindi sila magka-problema. So much of the culture of these imperial countries remains today. So and look at how much French and English are spoken in African countries. Kasi nga yung continent na yan ng Africa na yan, England po at France ang sumakop dyan. Kaya ang language spoken dyan ay French and English. Diba? So, ayan. So, in a post-colonialism then, argument is that not Western or non-Western culture po are represented through the Western eyes, largely because of the impact of cultural imperialism through the power of Western media. It can be also argued that, for example, that whatever Islam is represented, it is shown also through the Western perspective that they usually fails to understand the nature and complexity of Islamic belief and culture. Kasi paano ba tinuro sa atin o pinakilala ng Western media kapag sinabing Islamic countries? Okay? Sila'y masama. Sila'y mga terorista. Sila'y magulo. Walang sistema. Ganun yung inano sa atin Kasi sa Bible, nakasulat na kaagad din dun eh. Walang peace dun sa story sa Bible. Paki-correct na lang po ako. Diba, nandun yung laging labanan ng Christians and Muslims, tapos ang ending na story, palaging panalo ang Christians, talo po yung Muslim. Na alam naman natin na reality, we are all Muslims. It so happened na nagkaroon ng Christians kasi nagkaroon ng mga new ideas, ideology na tinatawag natin, di ba? O yun yung pagbabago tinatawag. Okay? But anyway, so ito yung reality. So ito yung nagiging perspective natin. Even us, tayo mga Asians, pupunta tayo sa Western countries, ibang tingin nila sa atin eh. Pag singkit ka, natatakot sila kasi mangangarati ka. Ako, nung bata ako, pag nakakita ako ng Muslim na kaganyan, kasi very common sa palengke, maraming Muslim dyan sa amin eh. Nakakita ko ng ganyan. Butas lang na matay nakikita ko. So hindi ko alam kung bakit sila nakaganyan. Ang sinasabi ng nanay ko o nung sinong lola ko, pag kalalapit siyang kukunin ka. Diba? Tinatak sa utak nila na mangunguha sila ng tao. So sa akin din, nakatatak sa utak ko, nangunguha sila ng tao. Pero syempre nung bata lang ako noon. Pero nung lumaki na ako, hindi na. Alam ko kung bakit sila nakaganyan. That's part of their practices nila eh. Kasi yan po yung traditional eh. Na kailangan din nakikita ang skin at mga kung ano sa body ng isang babae, lalo na kung dalaga siya o kaya may asawa. Kasi property na siya ng kung sino man eh. Diba? So ayan. Anyway, yan yung perspective natin. That's why Western, ang perspective nila, terrorist ang mga Muslim. Kasi ganun yung nagiging. Kaya never na pwedeng magsama ang non-Christians at Muslim. Okay? O yung Christians at Muslim, never sila magsama. Talaga magkakaroon ng a different ano yan. Kasi yung impact ng ano eh, yung pagturo na tinatawag. So, with this kind of problem, sabi nga natin, as part of the goals of the SDG natin, they tend to change everything. So, all the bad of the past, yung division ng North and South, kailangan tanggalin. Alisin na natin yung mga negativism na yan. So, yung mga child labor of the past, kailangan kinokorek yan. That's why, nagkaroon tayo ng human rights education. Okay? Human rights education are certain fundamental rights which is inherent to all human beings. Everyone has the right to have a security for life and personal properties, including medical care, no threat to human dignity, and self-respect irrespective of one's nationality, place of residences or residency, gender or sex, ethnic origin, religion, language, or any other status. All people po are equally entitled to human rights without any discrimination. So, through the goals of SDG, ito po yung kanilang objective. Magkaroon tayo ng equality so that ma-achieve natin yung objective and to avoid yung tinatawag nating misunderstanding. At the same time, ma-achieve natin yung peace among us, yung tinatawag nating global citizenship. Human rights education is defined as a training, dissemination of information, efforts aimed at building a universal culture of human rights by imparting knowledge and skills and molding attitudes. According to the United Nations Organization, particularly the General Assembly, human rights education po referred to that which help people place at a different level of economic progress and development and belonging to different social, including religious group, to learn, ayan, and adhere throughout life. For the government and non-government organization, yung mga industries, individual, and other such elements constituting a civilized society should take a responsibility in providing human rights education. Okay? So bakit kailangan tayong magkaroon ng education? May understanding syempre para magkaroon ng peace, ubaga, equal, ubaga magkaroon ng yung understanding and knowledge na tinatawag. Okay? So everyone as part of the declaration, everyone has the right, no? Has the right for education. Based po yan sa article na yan, 26 paragraph 2, that education should be free, at least in elementary and fundamental stages. In reality, base po sa educational right for education, wala pong pinipiling age dito. As long as the person po is willing and they wanted to learn, accepted po dapat yan. Ina-accept, no? Ibig sabihin, there is allotted seat, no, for them. Elementary education shall be compulsory. That's why in the Department of Education, ini-encourage po ang mga magulang, 'di ba, to register their children if their ages po ay 6 to 7 years old. Lalo na this coming June, no? Kailangan i-registered na po yan. Kaya kung meron kayong mga pamangkin, mga kilala, kailangan sila i-registered. Now, that's for public. Now, what about for private? Hindi ko masasagot ang private, no? But then, still open po yan. For the private, syempre kailangan ng pera. But generally speaking, DepEd po pinag-uusapan natin, dapat po, at least in elementary, why is it compulsory? Kasi yung learning kailangan eh. Sa constitution po natin, doon pala makikita nyo, why is it important po ang education? Kasi required sa constitution that every Filipino at least has a knowledge to write and to read. Okay? Technical book is also very important yan. And professional education like your course shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Okay? So, yan po yan. Okay? So, what are the objectives? Human rights education po has the following objectives. 1, aiming at enhancing the knowledge and understanding of human rights, fostering attitudes of tolerance, yung respect, solidarity, and responsibility, developing awareness of how human rights can be translated into social and political reality, and also lastly, last is developing skills for protecting human rights. What about the 5 dimensions? So number 1, strengthening respect of human personality and the dignity. Okay? Fully developing human personality and its dignity then. Prompting understanding, tolerance, yung gender equality which is part of the global yan, no? Yung goals ng SDG. Friendship among all nations. Kaya yung global citizenship is very important, yung responsibility natin. Yung mga indigenous people, yung racial, national, ethnic, religious, and linguistic group. Kaya nga dito, sabi niya, furthering the activities of UN is to maintain peace. Hindi away. Kaya yung global citizenship is very important. So for the framework, yung promote values for the National Curriculum Program of 1986, which covered the core elements of human rights that cuts across narrow subject, boundaries, and also to design a design to promote values, or promote values. So nandiyan po yung number 1, common cultural heritages, equalitarianism, okay? Kailangan equal lagi daw, pero hindi nangyayari. Democracy na nagiging democracy, secularism, yung gender equality na number 1 problem pa rin yan, observation of small farming norm or family norms, and also inculcation of scientific temper among other things. Okay? And that's why there is a picture here, a girl, a young child, sabi nga natin, holding a placard which is the right to education. So, pag sinabi natin ganyan, parang sasabihin nyo, ma'am, para sa bata lang pala yan. No, ang right to education po is to everyone. But syempre, sabi nga natin, much ang attention po ibinibigay sa bata kasi this is the need. Sabi nga, compulsory nga siya. But again, it is for everyone. For those who wanted to finish, sabi ko nga, ay kailangan yan. Ako, sharing with you, dati kasi ako sa Menjola, originally Menjola girl po tayo, no? Meron ako naging estudyante talaga sa Menjola. Matanda, tatay ko tutuusin. Tatay ko ang age niya. No, nung time kong nagtuturo na ako sa Menjola that time. So ako happy ako pag nakakita ako ng estudyante. Education ang course niya, and that time nagtuturo ako sa education. So ang age po niya ay nasa 50 plus. Okay? So ako happy ako sa kanya kasi yung age niya, imagine mo, pinush through pa niya. Actually wala siyang plano. Wala siyang plano na magtapos kasi ang kanya na nagtatrabaho siya, meron siya 5 anak, yung mga anak niya pinag-aral niya. So may younger one siya, yung younger one niya, na anak niya, nag-aaral din sa CEU. Pareho sila, first year. Pinagsabay sila ng kuya niya, yung anak ng panganay. Pinagsabay silang pinag-aral nung bunso niya kapatid at saka yung tatay. Imagine mo na nakakatuwa kasi yung balik ng bata, yung anak, is patapusin yung tatay. Kasi dream ng tatay na kahit pa paano maging professional siya, maging professional teacher. Hindi niya nagawa. So, yung anak niya, yung bunso, nag-accounting ang course. Tapos siya education. So naging teacher ko siya. Hindi ko nga siya matawag, paano ko tatawagin? Siyempre, tatawagin ko sa surname siya. Paglabas, tawag namin tatay. Pati mga kaklase niya, no? Ang tawag sa kanya father tatay, father, gano'n, di ba? Lahat ang dami niyang anak. But anyway, nakakatuwa kasi doon at tinutulungan siya ng bunsong anak. So nagpapaaral sa kanya yung pangalan niya anak. Diba? So, yun yung ano. So, ito ibig sabihin, yung education po, hindi po yan, walang pinipiling age. As long as may dream tayo, ipupush natin. Kaya ito yung right to education. Okay? RTE means the right to education is for all children. Again, as I said, not only for children. But again, children who have either dropped out from school or have never been in any education institution will be enrolled in a school or schools with no school refusing admission to any child. Kaya minsan siguro no elementary tayo or high school, nagugulat kayo, bigla meron kayong kaklase na bago. Ako nung public school ako, kasi produkto po ako ng public school nung elementary. Nung high school po, private na ako. Okay, kasi ayaw ng tatay ko puro public kasi para wala daw nangyayari sa akin. Kasi nga parang alam natin sa public, 'di ba, nagiging bulakbol daw ako. Hindi naman totoo 'yon, 'di ba? Pero anyway, ako magsasabing hindi totoo kasi akala lang niya hindi ako nag-aaral. Pero syempre, magulat na lang sila at the end part of the story, 'di ba? Natuwa na lang sila. But anyway, so nagulat ako, may kaklase ako, nasa mid na ng term, pumasok. O di syempre, iba ang treatment, di ba? Pero wala kami magagawa kasi meron talagang ibinibigay na seat. Although wala na talagang seat, pero ibig ko sabihin, gumagawa ng paraan sa public school na magkaroon ng seat kahit nasa likuran ka na ng basurahan, di ba? Doon ka nalagay para magka-seat ka. I mean to say, ito yung sample na sinasabi na the right to education to everyone. So it means, any institution po, there must have a seat, a reserved seat. Whether you are coming from the weaker society or sa mga rich society tinatawag. Or mean to say, the public or the private. Meron po dapat share. Ako, share ko na lang din, although wala na itong college to Minsan napapansin nito sa inyo siguro, bakit may mga klase kayo pumapasok na late. Actually, mga late enrollees sila. Pero talaga, meron ako estudyante dati sa college. Masscom siya. Pumasok siya midterm na. May reason bakit. Wala kami nagawa. Lahat ng teachers na nag-handle ng masscom that time, wala kami magawa. Kasi reasonable siya. So, kailangan siyang, sabihin na natin, very confidential ang case niya. So, part of the rule ng RTE is to accept that child, that girl. Maganda siya. So, may isang aksidente na kailangan itago siya. So, nandun kami sa room na pumapasok kami mga teacher isa-isa kada isang oras, tinuturuan namin siya. 'Di ba? Nakakatakot kasi may risk din sa part namin, pero we have to zip our mouth. Wala na. Tapos na yun, hindi nyo na malalaman kung sino siya. Pero kailangan namin i-zip ang mouth namin. So, accept namin yun. So, kahit hanggang gabi, tuturo kami. Ito yung sinasabi. Whether you are in a higher institution, as long as it is needed, you need to accept it. Okay? So, may question po tayo. Stop muna ako dito. Hindi ako pwede magtuloy kasi mabibitin po ako. At pag nabitin, baka sasabihin nyo, ma'am, tapos na po yung oras, nag-extend na po kayo. May question po tayo for this lesson.